Good evening. This is Kiera Peoples with Millennials and Money.
Good evening, everyone. This is Jessica Martinez with Millennials and Money. How are y'all doing today? How are you doing?
I'm doing great, girl. Glad to be here.
I know. Weather's getting better.
Yes, finally not as hot today. But it could get a little bit better. But, it's
Yes.
okay. It's better than being cold.
That's right.
Yeah, so it's been a while. I haven't seen you in a long time.
I know.
You been okay?
I've been good, girl. I've been
How's
good.
School?
Good. How's
School's okay?
school going for
School's
you?
okay.
I
I'm
heard
almost
someone's
done.
graduating this Sunday.
Yes.
We are excited for you.
Yes, thank you. Yes, I graduate this Sunday, so I'm so excited.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's
So you're
almost
making
done.
a trip. There you go.
Yes,
girl.
a whole trip, little vacation, and graduation all in one. So
That's
yeah, you
good.
can't beat that.
I know. You can't.
Yes, girl. So speaking of graduation, tonight is graduation season for a lot of students around the country, and we're gonna explain a little bit about not only graduation, but is your degree really worth it? We go to school, we get these degrees, we get these titles, but how is that paying off for us? So I know we're both in school. So what are
Yes.
you studying again?
Psychology.
Okay.
What are you studying?
Healthcare administration.
There we go.
Yeah. And so what year are you in school?
I am in my junior year.
Junior year. Okay. So
But since I go part-time, it's taking me a little bit longer, but I'll get there eventually.
yeah, I mean, that's fine, girl. I have so many friends that did psychology. I mean, it's a great degree. What do you want to do with it?
I want to eventually help do psychology with the kids and just be able to help kids out. I really like to spend my time with kids, especially I have 2 nephews and a little sister, so I love to be around kids.
That's cool. Yeah, that sounds like something really great. I feel like growing up, we're all told to go to school, but sometimes there's like a distance between finishing and finding the job that you feel like you were promised when you started it.
That's right. A lot of us, like, we graduate and what happens is we're expecting that we're going to find a job like quick. And that
Yes.
really doesn't happen.
Yes.
Real life hits us and it's like,
the
okay,
Yeah.
when is this job just going to pop up or something?
Right.
But it doesn't happen like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are like working in another field where they can, they're not even, has nothing to do with their degree.
Yeah. I wonder who we can talk to about that. But as far as millennials and money, we like to cover all kind of topics that affect millennials, not only through school, finances, but social, activities as well. And so school education is so important. We do teach on financial literacy, and an important part of that to make sure that you increase your cash flow or have financial security is education, and then job security or entrepreneurship. So today we want to talk about, is the cost of education and your tuition and the investment that you put into finishing school, is that really equal or greater than the return that you see post graduation?
Right.
Which I hope it is, because this I can't turn back. But
I don't want to keep get your hopes down, but I've been reading and I don't know about that.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Well, girl, maybe I could get a
It's
refund.
sad, but
I don't
right.
know. Like, we're gonna see if I can. Okay, what did it say?
Well, here in 2015, a job hunt what students wanted was 93% wanted personal growth on opportunities, 86 job securities, 80% wanted good benefits. Girl, good benefits and jobs.
That's important.
God.
If I take a day off, I need it to be covered. Oh, it's not
Nowadays,
that kind of benefit.
You know what? Nowadays, I guess you can maybe millennials last the most probably 5 years
That's
in a
true.
job
Yeah.
because they're always
It's a
looking for
big
something
turnover.
better.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true.
So I don't know. We'll see.
I'll probably last 6
And then
years.
the salary is 40%. Girl, we're in 2018. 40%, that is nothing.
Yeah. That is nothing.
That's sad, but everything's going to go up. So eventually that
Yeah.
is, yeah.
And I don't know how many people actually start at 40. Yeah, so that's the sad thing.
That's really sad. And then the most popular fields are healthcare, which there you go.
Okay.
Okay, I see you, Kira. And education, of course, education. But
Yeah.
what really is bad in education, a lot of teachers don't get paid so good.
Yeah, I was gonna say education. Like, what would our teachers say about that? It may be popular, but is it the highest paying field? It's
Yeah.
nice to be popular. That's nice, but if I don't get that check at the end of the day, then we can forget that. So I think it should be equal. As popular as it should be, I should get compensated a little bit more. But
That's
just
right.
me.
No, I'm pretty sure there's more teachers out there feeling
I'm
you.
sure they are. I'm sure they are. Yeah. Okay.
So, and then another.
Okay, so based off of what we want as millennials, sometimes it doesn't match up. So statistics show that the annual earnings of a high school graduate is $28,000 compared to someone that had a 2-year degree or some college at $30,000 versus a bachelor's degree or higher is $45,500 per year. So, even though these are statistics, I know a lot of people, again, that aren't making $45,000 at a bachelor's degree or quite yet at a master's degree.
I think it has to do a lot with now in job is experience. You graduate, you expect for you to get a job quick, but then the question is when they're going to ask you how long or how much do you have in experience, and your answer is going to be 0 because I just graduated,
Yeah.
So that's a major and important thing that we have to see and we have to think about. Maybe we start an internship or something that can help us with gain experience in that field, and by the time we graduate, then okay, we have some experience, so now we don't have to I guess it just makes it harder for us.
Yeah, I understand. A lot of people, they do say about having experience, but it's almost like students are caught in between. It's either maybe I should stay at home and get experience, get a job out of high school, or should I go to school? Because realistically, you almost can't do both. A lot of people do work through school, but it's often not in their field, because again, you don't have experience or you don't have degrees now. So I just feel like sometimes for students or new graduates, it's always a barrier that it was like, oh, you should have been quicker. Like that guy on Geico, you should have been quicker than that. And it's just like, dang, like stop moving the barrier so I can't get a good job. When I was in high school, you said go to school to get a good job.
And
now
then I'm going to find a good job.
Now you say you need experience. So which one is it, And even with the degrees, some of the starting rates is just like, man, I should have stayed at home.
I know. It's
so,
like 30,000. You're
yeah.
like, no.
Yeah, because it's not even like an arrogant thing, but it's just like you look at your student loan bill versus what you're trying to pay me, and it just, hurts people.
Doesn't match, yeah.
Yeah, so I just, I think that we obviously have some oversights in the education system because tuition continues to rise, but our job salaries are not matching, tuition rates. So there's some imbalance. But anyways, I'll get off my soapbox about that. Sorry. I feel strong about that. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Hey, more power to you.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So an article says that an average college degree pays off by age 34. Girl, I don't want to ask you your age, in front of public like that, but 34?
Girl,
that
black don't crack, but I'm not close to 34 yet. I'm still getting carded, girl. People still think I'm in high school. So just imagine 34. No. No.
Can you just imagine like you actually being able, like you work your butt off for like,
yeah,
you're saving and I'm gonna pay off my student loan, but 34.
Girl, people don't even pay it off by 34. I know some 50-year-olds, they still are paying on their student loans. By 34, well, I'm not even 27, 26. That's fine. I'm still young, so I can say my age on, camera right now because I'm still young. But by 34, I want to have like a whole family. I should be stable, secure in my career. And for that just to be like, things that I did in the past undergrad years for 4 years to just finally pay off, that seems like a long time.
It does. I think 34, that's That is very
Yeah.
scary. It's like college student usually graduate with a bachelor's at what age 20?
21.
Yeah,
Yeah.
21.
I mean, in your 20s, and I
that-
mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's,
I don't know.
I don't know. Saving for, it says here, an average of 12 years for you to, for the bachelor's degree, start paying off some of your debts. 12 years? I don't know about that.
No. I mean, in 12 years, you could pay off your student loans if you do it right. So if you get
Yeah,
like
but then,
the
you know,
forgiveness program,
Reality hits to you. What do you have?
yeah.
Kids, and
Yeah.
then you. I don't know about
I just
that.
I don't understand how that makes sense in a way, because you just said, well, statistics is that you come out of college, you get this job, it's like 40,000, 45,000 every year. So by 12 years, you know, I should be knocking those tuition loans down. I don't know. Again, I think that there is an imbalance of, you know, the student loan debt. I mean, obviously, student loan debt is higher than any other debt that we have in this country. But then we have so many graduates that are not in the workforce. They can't pay their bills on time. They're not contributing to Social Security. They can't afford their retirement fee. So, you know, again, it's a big oversight, and we have to look at how can we better manage maybe what students their skills can be related to the jobs that we have available.
How about if maybe like in high school start putting some like a school where it teaches you, like you're already learning about your field that you want to go
Yes.
to, and that way you start gaining some experience, and
Yeah.
not your, you know, just when you get off from fresh from your your degree, you know, you have zero experience. I think that would
Yes.
probably be a big help.
Yeah, I do agree, and I feel like and I've talked to a lot of teachers about that. You know, especially in Texas, we have the tax test, which is like I think I'm showing my age because it's not even called the tax test
The
anymore.
STAR test, girl.
I apologize. It's not even the STAR test. They told me something else the other day. I
Oh.
apologize. So
Well,
we're like
I'm
super
sorry.
old. Whatever it is, it's a standardized test, and it never really measured, like, you know, the person's intelligence. It was more of like a curriculum based test.
Yes.
Because when I had to write college essays, I was like, man, this mess did not teach me anything, you know? So
I feel you on that, especially right now.
it didn't help. So I'm like, okay, scratch that, and now put kids into classes based on their skills and their passions, and like make little Johnny into engineer class, and then have a cooking class, and have, you know, a
Like
nursing
actually
class.
teach them things. Yeah, like
and
real life
skills,
things.
you know,
yeah.
things like, we don't do checks anymore, but how to balance your bank account, how to change a tire, life skills, things that when college kids go to school, I've seen kids that don't know how to cook, they don't know how to do laundry.
I've seen
you know,
college that don't even know how to change a tire on a bike. Huh.
on a bike. I don't know how to do that either. But you know, like things normal people do. Like, I'm sorry. Anyways, but I do think that we should have more career focused courses early on, because that helps you, like you said, it helps to give experience, but I think it also prepares you for what you actually want to do. Sometimes we say this is our dream job, then we see someone else doing it or actually get to experience, we're like, no, forget that. So if I would have gotten to do that maybe in middle school or high school, I would have been able to adjust what I thought I wanted to do much sooner before I got my tuition bill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can, you know, that experience can help in the way that, what if that, your degree that you're going, what if it's not for you, you know, because you pay off, you know, you go to college so many years, you get in debt, and then you're like, this is not for me.
Yeah.
It's like
no
we
refunds.
see, it's like we see a lot of artists, you know, we want to be like them sometimes because they get money, but we really don't see behind the scenes, you know, how much work they put into it for them to become actually, you know, famous.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
those are some things that can help, you know. I think that would be a great start, having some schools like that where we can teach them real life things or
Yeah.
real life situations. You know,
They do have like some programs where I know a lot of kids, especially in Texas, they're able to graduate with an associate's degree, but it's only certain students that qualify, like in high school.
I was
go-
one of them.
Okay.
I feel special, girl. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So you know, so I think it's the last 2 years of high school. You're able to go to this program. I think it's like a medical technology or medical assistance, cosmetology, the cars, auto mechanic or something
Beauty
program.
school.
Yeah. And so they can do that and they can go into those type of careers before they graduate high school. Or some now high school students are graduating at the same time graduating high school and their associates all in one. So I think extending those to more people, if not all students, will be, you know, a little bit more productive.
Yes.
Because why shouldn't everybody get that same opportunity?
Yes.
You know.
You know, from graduating actually from one of those schools, I was able to graduate with my associates in high school. You know,
That's
so
great.
I had two graduations instead of one.
Yeah.
But it is, you know, you have to. I wish there was more opportunities like that to more students, because
Yeah.
not all students, for you to be able to go to the schools, you have to, you know, apply. You have to get into that school so they can be able
For
to.
sure.
And it sometimes it makes it harder for students just because it's not in their area, or not really much of the money, because it's like a charter school.
Oh, yeah. And I think cosmetology, you have additional fees, right? For
Probably.
a certain program. So what did you get yours in?
Well, I just got my associates in arts, so
Oh, okay.
basically they paid off for 2 years of my college.
What?
Yes,
See,
ma'am.
I mean, I wasn't even aware that was even possible, because I'm ashamed, because those bills are real. And so if I would have known that was a real opportunity, you know, you would take it.
Yeah, and not
So
only
that's
that,
great.
it pushes you to have like good grades, because
Yeah, that's true.
you know, for you to be able to take those classes, you have to
Yeah.
have good grades.
That's true.
Because if you have bad grades, they're not going to give you that opportunity. It's like, why should I give you this opportunity if you're not making good grades
Yeah.
for that? You know?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because a lot of people will take advantage of that. But,
Yeah. Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
because then you go to a different campus. And
mhm.
yeah, I
Yes.
understand.
And then that's another thing, you know, that you want to see, like when you graduate college. I mean, not graduate, when you graduate college, high school, you want to maybe start at not at such of a high tier university. Maybe you want to
Yeah.
go to college, and that way your bills or your student loan won't be so big, because for example, Houston Community College, you know, it's cheaper than going to University of Houston,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
So that's something I learned,
Mm-hmm.
and I think my teachers from my high school that taught me that.
Yeah.
So I was able to take away many years from not paying so much.
Yeah, that's true. That's a really good point. I think for, you know, parents and high school students, that sometimes, you know, I'm gonna be transparent. My mom, she did bring that up to me, but at the time, being a high school student, we had a lot going on. I was just like, no, I wanna go. I wanna have that experience and stuff like that, because I was thinking that if I stayed at home, that I would never leave. You know, like I just thought that. But I am glad that I left for college. You know, it was one of my greatest experience or whatever. But now I look at, student loan repayment. Maybe I should.
You know,
did it a
we
little
had
bit
different situations. My situation was, I actually wanted to go and leave and live in campus like you, but my mom was like, no. 'Cause
Yeah.
she was just, I had a scholarship, but I didn't take it.
Yeah, but yours was for out of state, right?
No,
No, it was in state.
it was in state.
Oh,
My mom was like, I was selfish at the moment. I didn't want to live at a dorm.
you were a kid.
Yeah,
Yes.
I went.
We were
So
kids.
there were some situations there, but I thank her nowadays. Okay.
Yeah, see, it all works out how it's supposed to. I'm learning that. But, you know, I think it is great for, students to know their options, know that you don't have to go to UT your first 2 years. We're all getting the same basics, but you're getting at a little bit bigger, price tag. And so,
I mean, if you get a full ride scholarship,
oh yeah,
please
take that,
go
take
for
that.
it. Yes.
Yeah, but if you don't, you might need to reconsider.
Yes.
Yeah, because the interest on, that initial bill is just like almost double. So,
and you just have to think sometimes of your parents. A lot of us, we want to be selfish and no, I'm going to go to this higher school because, my friends, or just because I want to. But we have to think about our parents as well. Like, what's the best, for them at the moment, because they're helping us.
See, that's a mature perspective. I don't know if I was there at 18. But speaking of the price tag based off of the affordable universities or colleges, our second article talks a lot about that. Now, I had this conversation with my mom the other day. Now, we were talking about these big ticket schools, let's say like A&M, Texas A&M College Station, the original campus, versus, well, I don't want to put a name out there and people are like, well, I went to that school. But I'm just saying like a big four school, like a UT or Texas A&M compared to... I went to A&M Corpus Christi, so I can speak on that one. And so those are both great programs. They're both great in their own rights, their own majors and stuff like that. But sometimes with the same degree program, based on what you majored in, you're received different for jobs. Like, let's say for...
you were saying that just because you didn't graduate from main campus... you receives like not as much as like whenever you apply for a job.
Yeah, like it could be ranked. Like, when you're applying to colleges, they're ranked based off, you're ranked by your GPA, your extracurricular activities.
But in this case, you're ranked by your where
school.
You graduated. Yeah, your school.
So
like,
sometimes when people see the school, or like even in sororities, they tell us sometimes when you see a sorority name and then they're a member, that gets you, a little bit step up. So yeah, A&M has a big alumni association, and so, or man, people know A&M from everywhere. They know Maroon, they know UT, and so sometimes that gets you in the door versus the smaller schools or less known schools. And so do you think that's should people worry about that? Should they worry like
I think yes and no. I mean, it has its pros and cons. It really depends what university or college you went to. Like, if you really went to a bad reputation college, or that can actually hurt your...
I mean, I think,
but if I'm saying if it's not much of a difference, then no, you shouldn't worry about that.
I mean, I don't think most schools are negative. Like A&M Corpus is not negative. I think researching even graduate schools, as long as it's accredited and my degree will count when I graduate, I think I will be okay. Because when my mom suggested Houston Community College, and I was like, no, I got a postcard from A&M Corpus. It was of the beach, and I'm from Houston, and all we have is Galveston. I said, no, I'm going to study on the beach, and I did, girl. And but to validate my decision, is how I was already on it at a young age, and so I had researched how much Houston Community College was versus my school.
How much was it?
Similar.
A big difference?
No,
really?
It was similar. And the only thing that was different is because I had to live on campus. But girl, I had pulled there too. I became a resident advisor. I stayed on campus. My rent was free.
Nice.
Yep. So, there's ways around it. So, if you maybe a high school kid is listening to us, that's maybe why I'm going into this. And your parent is saying, stay at home and go to community college. Well, you can do your research, because with research, you can validate your point that, hey, based off of this school, I feel like it's best for maybe my major. Maybe I can get more contacts at this school. I could get an internship, but you just got to prove your point. But at the end of the day, we're all about saving money. So
right. Yeah, you just have to do your research and really know like what types of programs or where you can get into that would help you with your either paying off some of your debt or you know, just helping you on, like for you said you didn't have to pay for your dorm.
No.
So that's a big
Girl,
help. That is a
yes.
big help already.
Yeah, and college is like a grown person's rent. Like my
Yes.
dorm was $630 a month
Great. And it's
for
like
a dorm.
like a little space.
Yeah,
That's why
it was a 1-bedroom shared bathroom kind of thing. Yeah.
This is the reason why I didn't leave, because I didn't want to share it.
It's just like, man, what am I paying for?
But sometimes I regret not leaving, because you know, you get to experience so many different things, and you really get to live that college life that they
Girl.
say. But
Yes and no. Okay. Okay, so back to our article. I know I've got off the topic. So, does college pay off? Tuition costs versus your earning power. So, let's consider this. Graduates of schools that cost a lot earn more than graduates of more affordable schools, and that's what we are talking about in A&M in the main campus and A&M Corpus Christi example. Now, let's also consider the better the reputation that a college has, the higher the tuition. Do you feel like because, let's take A&M again, that because
you
that
like it? Well, because you went to it. That's why.
no, girl, we were different. We were the Islanders.
Okay,
Totally
excuse
different.
me.
No, but I'm just playing. But because people know your school, they know your football team, girl. Sometimes they know the school song that you should pay higher tuition. I say no, no, no. That is not my fault. Because, and also I learned after we graduated high school, I had friends that went to Tech. We had some people that went to A&M. I went to A&M Corpus, and I was so proud of myself. I was paying the lowest out of everyone.
There you go.
Yeah, you know, and it's like we're all getting basically the same education. Now we're in different majors, but yeah, I was good for where I was.
That's good. But it's because you did your research. You see, you did your homework.
I did it.
If you did your homework, you're going to do good.
Yes, because you really have to look at, you know, the per semester cost. Like my semester cost was like $3,000. I had people paying $9,000.
Oh, no.
To yeah, about $9,000 to $18,000 a semester.
You know, that's actually the average cost nowadays for college is $9,000.
Yeah, that's
that is
ridiculous.
crazy. Yes.
I pay, and I mean, I'm sure Corpus went up a little bit, but even 5,000 is better than 9,000. You know, at the
Yes.
end of the day, especially for basic classes that we most of the time fall asleep in. Sometimes, you know, so you just have to look at the price tag. I was bad. First row, I fell asleep most of the days, but I passed. God is good. All right, now. Now, so yeah, it's just you have to know your factors. You have to know what's important for you. Make sure that just because they have a major on that list that they're actually graduating students from that major and getting jobs.
Yeah, you just want to do your research on what's the average of graduation on
Yeah.
the where you're looking for, like
You
what
do.
major you want.
That's true, because now there are students, student lawsuits suing the universities because they're graduating with these high tuition or student loan bills with no job. So they're turning around and suing the university. Now I don't know if they won, but I just know that they have been doing that.
Wow, it's
Something to look
interesting.
into.
I have
Yeah.
to look into that.
Mhm.
I mean, like I told you, it makes sense, you know, because it's like kind of your promise that you're gonna have a
Yeah.
job, but then you really.
No,
life gets
they
to you, and
played
it's
you.
like, yeah, they played you. You paid like what, so much amount of money
At least
for
40,000. Yeah.
yeah. So and then you're like, here I am, still looking for a job, and it's like,
Mhm.
when is a job gonna
Struggling.
appear? But because I know many people that graduated with degrees
Mhm.
and they don't work in the field that
Oh, no.
they have degrees
So
in.
many people say that.
Yeah.
So many. So, I mean, that could also be maybe the degree that they got in is not realistic, again, to the workforce currently. Like, look at all the technology. I'm sure there should be more majors into that, you know, more branches of computer science and informatics and stuff like that versus something that may be outdated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it also has a lot to do with researching how what jobs are really the ones that are always
Yeah,
needing. Like, for example,
true.
doctors.
Mhm.
You know, but doctor, for you to become actual by yourself doctor is
Some
like 16 years.
Years, yeah.
Well, that's a lot. But
Yeah.
nurses, accounting.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can research some of those things, and that can for you to be able to have a job, and that can kind of like figure it out. Okay.
That's true. Yeah, because a lot of people, they say, well, I don't want to go to school that long, but the time is going to pass anyways. So that's like working out or eating right, I guess, more my thing. And they say, like, I'm trying to lose weight, in a month or so. And people always, they're worried about the time, but your time is passing anyway. So you might as well be productive, get to your goals, meet your goals, and succeed.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's gonna take you some time, but as long as you get there, that's the most important thing.
yeah, and the doctor's nothing. They just said we're gonna pay off our degree at 34. Shoot, if you're 18 right now, you have plenty of time, and you're gonna hopefully triple what you just paid in school by becoming a doctor. So
by the time, just by the time you're 18, by the time you're 34, I'm
you making good money.
Yes, and
that's exact almost 18 years. Well, anyways, well, you have to pick your battles, so that's fine. Okay, so now we already talked about like the cost and the value. We talked about, you might pay your degree off, or it may pay you back, in better words, by 34. But, again, the perception versus the reality. I think this is one of the things that Millennials and Money were big on, is that the world is changing. What our parents taught us originally while we were in high school and even in college growing up, of to just go get a good job and, work hard. That's no longer technically the world anymore. You have to have a little bit extra to really succeed.
Not just that, to really like be able to
live above water.
Yes. Pay off your bills, actually.
Like to actually eat something other than
noodles. A lot
of
people have nowadays 2 jobs just because they're not be able to afford their cost of living.
Girl,
which is sad, but
and that's with the degree sometimes. But like I know some people, even with the degree, you have to have multiple jobs, just to sustain. Some of these cities, Houston is a very big city, sometimes costly to live in a place that's secure, where you don't have to watch your back, to eat just a proper nutritious meal, instead of eating McDonald's every day. You want to actually eat something with color, so you have to go a little,
McDonald's,
go a little bit
McDonald's.
further.
I'm gonna need you to stay away from McDonald's.
No, I said something with color, but it was just an example.
Okay.
But even Chick-fil-A, if you want to eat Chick-fil-A's healthier version, that's expensive. You can't afford that every day,
girl. Yes.
So
I go to lunch sometimes, and it's like $10, and
it's like where's my coupon? But they send me coupons a lot. Actually, that's another good point. College kids, you cannot forget like your discounts.
Discounts like going to the museums.
Yes. Museum. Oh, free Thursdays for the museums and the zoo.
And the zoo. That's right.
Yeah, we definitely got off the topic. But anyways, so let's go to the next article.
Ooh, how school trains us to fail in real world.
Man,
I like that already.
Yes. That caught my attention.
I know it did. How does school train us? They train us to go to school, continue go to school, get in debt, and then by the age you're 34, hopefully you'll start paying back. Paying back.
I mean, I think school teaches us.
I think they teach us the basic. Very, very basic.
Very, very,
very,
basic.
very. I can say very, very, very many times.
Very basic. Because you go to a job. Let's say you get out of like I have friends in the nursing program. You get out the nursing program, and then you still need experience, because what they showed you, school teaches you the perfect scenarios of a lot of work positions.
Right.
Basically.
They don't teach you like the real life
what
situations.
What could happen, what if, on the job training. So that's why a lot of employers, I was looking at Pinterest, sorry, but this is all connected. A lot of employers, they're now saying, skip the degree. Mm-hmm. We need experience, because a lot of millennials are coming out of college without experience. They have all this book knowledge, yet they cannot execute.
Yes.
That makes sense?
Yes, it makes perfect sense.
But
and a lot that does have a point. I'm not saying not to go to school and continue to go to college, because college
No.
is really important.
Yeah.
And still you're going to learn a lot of things in college. But as well, you know, a lot of millionaires, billionaires, some of them didn't graduate from
Nope.
college, didn't even make it to college, and they're very
Yeah.
successful. So
You know, people, and I used to be like, oh my God, I could do that. Like, you know, I think millennials, we have to like reel ourselves back in. You know, we are like the dreamer generation. We love when people say, yes, like, I don't have to go to school. Like, if I want to sing, let me go into American Idol. We have so many resources at our
Yes.
fingertips. If we want to become famous, let's just put up a YouTube video. And that's great. I love that we are so, almost
just
like
so really good in technology.
yeah,
And
we are so yeah. Sorry, I can't think of the word. I apologize. But anyways, but I think realistically, sometimes the people that say that have already gotten their degree, you know, or they have their, you know, their job security. But you're saying that's millennials who are just, you know, in high school. They're like, oh, forget that. I don't need to. But no, that's not realistic. I tell my little cousins, you may not like what you want to go to, or you may not like your job or whatever, but you need to go to school. You know,
Yes.
you have to have something to fall back on. I need you to get a degree.
You always
because
have to
that's
have
gonna
your-
take you somewhere.
yeah, you always have to have your plan A and plan B. So plan
Yeah.
A doesn't work, then you always have your B.
Yes, you need a backup plan.
Yes.
And the older you get, you're like, oh yeah, shoot, I can't. Just in case this don't work. You know. But yeah, I think a degree is a great, not saying it's a safety net because it's way too expensive to be a safety net, but it's just also if you have a passion that you're saying, I want to be a singer, but my mom wants me to go to school. Go to school, learn your craft, but also still get the intelligence to sustain being a singer.
Right. Or
Beyonce
get
is
it.
a great singer, but she's a businesswoman.
That's
so
right.
you have to have both. You have to be able to think for yourself, maintain your business, book your own shows or whatever you want to do, and you don't want anybody to kind of micromanage you. So that's where school comes in. You know, you have the foundation.
Or that's where experience comes in, right? Because
that's true.
that's where you get to learn by experiences,
Yeah.
by lessons in life that happen to you, by situations in life
Yeah.
that happen to you. Okay,
That's
so
true.
I really went through this, so now I already know what to do. You know,
Yeah.
and now I don't have to be
That's
like
true.
so scared. Okay, I haven't been through this. It's like my mom always tells me, you fall, get your behind back up and retry it again, because you know it happens. It's part
Yeah.
of life.
Oh yeah, you're gonna
Your
fall.
life is it's not gonna be perfect.
yeah.
I can tell you this. So people, life is not perfect. Sorry to break it to
perfect.
you, but it's not.
Yeah.
You know, we have to go through real life situations.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they're unexpected, but it's just part of life,
Right.
and there's nothing we can do about it.
That's true.
I mean, we can find things. For example, if you're in debt, here are the Millennials of Money, where they can teach you how to educate yourself on finances, or just find resources and help you and how you can make your money grow, or just how to reduce your debt. You know, that's already a big help. A lot of people don't know that. That's something that school can also teach.
That's true.
You know, I was talking to an academic advisor,
Mhm.
and I was telling him what we do, and she was like, you know, she's a teacher in sociology, and she's like, I tell my students this is something important that schools don't teach, you know, how to stay off debt, how to reduce your debt, how to save money, how to budget yourself. That's something that's really important. So
Yeah.
I think that's a great way to start, by learning and taking the first step, you know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, again, I don't feel like school. I mean, of course, the education system is great. We're not saying that. But it can also be altered to be a little bit better. It's good, but it could be better.
I just wish it had more real life situations. Like, for
Yeah.
example, many kids nowadays don't know how to write in cursive.
Mm.
Do you know how to write it?
Yeah.
I do.
Mhm.
But my nephews, they don't get to learn that.
Yeah.
An advantage for him, he's learning Chinese, which I didn't get to learn that when I was
That's
in,
pretty cool.
in kindergarten.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty cool. I had seen a thing again on Pinterest. Obviously, I'm big on
I see you,
Pinterest
yes, girl.
all the time. But I think you brought up a new language, and I think that again, I think especially in Texas, we are multicultural.
Yes.
And I think it's great in our school systems if we would integrate language lessons. You know,
Yes.
I think everyone should be able to speak Spanish, Chinese, you know, especially Texas, but Chinese would be interesting as well. Or French. You know, I know those are electives that are possible, but now it's becoming like mandatory. You would
Yes.
need to speak Spanish because you need to be able to speak to, you know, other individuals.
Not other than that, but for example, me, I'm bilingual, so it helps me in job wise, or it helps me in just researching and finding things. You know,
Yeah.
I can speak either Spanish or English. You know, so it helps me a lot, and I think that's an advantage that a lot of people don't have,
That's true.
or a lot of people have it but don't know how to use it.
That's true. Like, I know Spanish. Now, I don't usually tell people. I think I'm using it wrong. So, usually when people are at the grocery store and they're speaking Spanish, I listen because they don't think I know how to speak Spanish. So, I hear the conversation. But also, I can use it professionally, too. And I think, you know, you actually get paid more.
Yeah, you do.
You get paid more when you when you can speak more languages. I remember one time I was at an interview, and this lady, she pulled a Spanish speaker to speak, and now in different industries, I don't know all of the Spanish words,
Right.
but they were still impressed that I could, you know, have a conversation. So, yeah, even if you know a few things, put it on there, get a little extra, you know. And so these are things that schools can equip you with. To better, you have to position yourself. That's really what school is about, positioning yourself, not really over other people, but just to make sure that you're able to sustain your lifestyle. You know, a lot of millennials, we love our lifestyles. We love brunch on the weekends.
Yes.
We love Netflix and chill. But we have
Can
these
we afford
jobs
it?
that cannot, you know, sustain that lifestyle. So you have to learn to position yourself. That's all this is today. Position yourself with what type of school, what major is best going to afford you the lifestyle that you want and
That's
that
a
you
great
deserve.
factor right there.
Yeah.
You know,
it's all about lifestyle.
yeah.
You know, shoot, nobody want. Yeah, I mean that's what it is. So
That's really important, you know. Find a degree that is, if you want a luxury lifestyle, well, you better get some study, or find or create something that is going to make you a wealthy person.
right.
Because if you're not, I don't know if you're going to have that luxury lifestyle anymore.
No. And you you have expensive taste, but you know they say you have a you have champagne taste on a beer budget. Like that's not gonna work. Can't get everything at a discount.
That's right.
So yeah. Okay, back to the articles. Let's read this one. Okay, so can you go up to the front? I apologize. Okay, so it had a great quote from Mark Twain. I've never let school interfere with my education. The other day, I found out that Mark Twain had dyslexia. Now, I did not validate that before I said that on air. I should have probably researched that to make sure. But I only brought that up to say that Mark Twain is known for his intelligence and he's known for his work. And so him having, you know, a disorder, he was still able to position himself, you know, based on what his skills were. And some of the stories of like the great authors and philosophers that we know today in school, they had issues, you know. Some people, they failed different grades, some people they were rejected, but they're still known. So again, it's about positioning yourself for your strengths,
and it's about that didn't stop them. You know,
your
they had a goal,
perseverance.
so they wanted to get to that goal, and
Yeah.
that's what it takes. You know, if you really want to push and get towards something, you just have to really dedicate yourself to that goal. I mean, if your goal is to become a singer, well, then push yourself to become a singer. What do I have to do to get into that? Become famous, you know. Now you have so many resources that can help you with that.
Right, that's true.
So it's just, once again, researching and finding out what are things that can help me accomplish this goal.
Right. Okay, so the modern American school system does not encompass or define learning. It is a dominant subset of it. Do you want to know why I dislike school? Homework for sure, but more important than that, there than that are these 4 ways that school trains us to fail in the real world. Go down a little bit. Instead of learning critical life skills on how to manage money, how to negotiate, how to communicate, kids are mostly taught to memorize information. This is helpful to learn, but not at the cost of learning critical life skills. Many people put these life skills on the onus of the parents to teach their kids, but not all parents are qualified to teach these lessons. And many assume the school is enough learning. The school system would be a perfect place to learn these indispensable skills. I can't give school a hall pass on this one because it's set up as a core way that kids are prepared to live in the world. Why is it positioned, there's that word again, as such when it lacks personal growth training, financial management training, communication training, emotional intelligence training, and healthy living training? Psychology is the closest course to any of these, but it's mostly in college and typically optional. So I'm just going to stop right there. He said a mouthful. And again, I think this just restates what we've been saying all along, that school, while it is great, it could still be a little bit better because there are so many life skills that we are without, but then we're pushed to college, usually away from home, away from family, without the home cooked meals. But we're often independent. Well, it's supposed to be independent, and then often said to grow up, and find our way. But we never had the roadmap, so sometimes that's why.
So you're telling me that nobody ever really taught us how to get there, like how to be independent, like school would have taught us that, or
like what does it look like? I mean, of course at home you have like different lessons, they don't just let you go, but there are some things that I guess even your parents, some people come from different backgrounds where your family may not have had the best money management skills, but they're depending on the education system or the bank system to teach your kids how to do that. Yeah. And so that's why in the article they were saying, sometimes it's pushed on to parents, the whole responsibility, but the parents are looking at the teachers like, hey, you got education.
So it's going back and forth. Hey, it's your fault.
And then the kids are left without.
And I think that's a great statement that you made there, because a lot of students or a lot of college grads, you can say, are already grown up adults. And what you have to do as millennials is, if your parents didn't teach you certain thing, it's upon you to learn that. True. And if you want something better for your kids whenever you do have kids, or plan to, maybe not, but still get knowledge on that, and then that way you can make a difference. Hey, my parents didn't teach me this, but I can now teach this to my kids. And that's something, something important in life. Maybe our parents weren't able to get that knowledge just because they didn't know about it, but that just doesn't have to stop us from us actually wanting to learn that knowledge.
That's true. I mean, especially in the technology based world, we are able to Google anything. Yes. Now, do we always use it in the best way? No, we don't. But it is time that we are able to inform ourselves. The things that, the schools, they didn't fill in the gaps, we can fill in for ourselves. We have to be better stewards of our money, our time, our resources. There's a lot of, like, even with school, there's a lot of online classes you could take for free. There are a lot of books that you can now get for free, like college textbooks. So you have to
there's our book, Saving Our Future, that you can get from us free as well,
for financial literacy. And we give free financial literacy workshops. So these are things that are available in your community, not only in the Houston area, but we actually have centers all over the United States and Canada. These are available any day of the week. You're able to contact either me or Jessica, Millennials and Money, or any of the other Millennials and Money team. So, equip yourself with the knowledge.
And where can you be reached at?
Well, my email is Kiera Elise. It's on the screen, KieraElise@gmail.com. And we have social media pages as well.
Yes, you can follow us on Facebook, which is Millennials and Money with the $sign on Millennials. And then you can find us on Instagram as well. It's Millennials_Money. So we're there. We have we're Facebook on, or you can email us. My email is jessmartinez1993 at yahoo.com. And if you have any questions, please, don't be afraid to ask. Like I said, nobody's perfect, so don't be embarrassed.
Yeah, no, we love questions.
Yeah, we want to be here for you. We want to hear y'all millennials out. Like, what is it that maybe we need to put a word out more, and explain or teach y'all about?
Yeah, I mean, like millennials, I know we're talking about graduation season, but what about when you get your tuition refund check? That you might have a question like, I noticed when I got my refund checks, I could have invested or saved that, and I could have started my business a little bit easier instead of looking into a loan. So there are things that sometimes we blow it on food that we could have invested for later.
Or somebody, we can just invest it on lifestyle that we wanted. We wanted them shoes, that clothes, but we made bad choices, and instead of having a good choice and learning how to save our money for eventually for later future, we end up broke.
Oh yeah, definitely. And that's what Millennials and Money do. We teach you to think forward. Sometimes as millennials or just individuals in general, we're only thinking in the moment, but we're learning to ourselves, and you included, we're learning to think for the future. We're learning to save our money. We're learning to prepare ourselves for the things that we want instead of for the things that we need instead of the things that we just want.
Yes.
And so financial literacy is just setting the foundation to make sure you have like things like an emergency fund. Rainy days always happen, even if we don't know the date. You make sure you cancel your debt out. You make sure that you're able to I was going to say invest, but yeah, it's keys like that to make sure that you're set up for the future. Especially, it doesn't matter what age you are. College students need it. High school students need it.
Everyone needs it.
Post-graduation, you need it.
Everyone needs it. I think it's really important in life to learn about financial education, just to learn about concepts of like, for example, Rule 72. Many people don't know what that is.
What is that, Jessica?
Rule 72?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you would have to email to me to find that out.
Oh, man. Okay.
That's another subject for another day. But
that's true.
It's really important. It's small things like that you can't. If you don't find or you don't research for that knowledge, you're not gonna know, and that's where we get in trouble. Then we start spending all this money, then at the end of the day, we're living day by day, paycheck to paycheck.
Second by second till payday comes. Shoot, and it's a long time.
And then don't be saying why we eating ramen noodles because we don't know how to save.
That's true. Yeah, it was that McDonald's you got the day before, and now you broke.
Right. You're trying to spend $10 every day, but hey, what if you save those $10?
You could have went to H-E-B, got you a pack of meat, got some vegetables, and that could have stretched for a few days.
Yes, that could have.
Putting you on the game.
Yes.
But all right, so I heard we have a Millie Bag question before our time is up.
Yes. Our question is, my passion is singing, and I want to major in that, but then reality hits me. I may not find a good paying job, and it's a choice between financial securities or my passion. What should I do?
Okay, so let me make sure I understand the question. She said her passion is singing, but it sounds like she's in between, like going between her passion and financial securities. Yeah, like a good paying job.
I guess for that, I can say it really depends on passion. You're always going to have a dream to become something. Sometimes it becomes reality. Sometimes it doesn't. It's heartbreaking, but it's part of life once again. So I think it just has to do with, you always want to go with financial securities, because what is your passion going to pay off your debt? If you find something good and you starting a business and something that you have passion in, hey, then go for it. But if you just keep waiting for, one day my dream is going to really come true, but you don't do anything to accomplish that goal, then it's not going to happen. And then
True.
you're going to have some problems with, shoot, I don't know, IRS or something, because you can't even pay your taxes.
Yeah, be living outside. Yeah, well, that's true. I mean, you said it. I mean, I think you set yourself up for success. So build your foundation first. You have to be able to pay your bills. Whatever gets you there first, let's start with that. Now, if you have time, keyword if you have time to do a hobby and do things that you like, that's when you do singing.
Yeah.
You could go to karaoke.
There you go.
Now, if you get what is it? If you get discovered, then you know it's for you.
That's right.
But you don't start with that first. You go where the money is, and then you do the hobby.
Because you got to be able to afford, like, if, for example, if you go to American Idol, you got to be able to afford your trip to American Idol.
That's true.
So you can audition. But if you can't even afford that, well, then there goes your passion.
That's true.
And your dreams. So
yeah, and your rent money and everything.
Everything else, pretty much. Yes, that's where everything goes. So I know that I just think this is a great topic about learning about, the cost of education and what's the degree really applies on that. Like, I guess you can say it's great to, like, for example, we can change some things on those for the school. For example, putting some of the more of those schools, those charter schools that I tell you that just a brief basically summary of what everything we talked about is, putting some schools like charter schools that would help the students out for college. I think that's already a big help to a lot of parents.
Yeah,
true. And then research your things. That's another major thing. Or just make sure you can find some other things that would help your resources. For example, you said that you were able to find some resources that help you pay your room, your dorm.
Yes.
So, I mean, it doesn't have to, just because, your parents don't have that, I guess you can say, help. I guess you could say help or like the tuition money, the money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, to help you. That doesn't have to.
I don't know who does have that out of pocket,
Well, I can't say names.
Maybe. Oh, okay. Never mind. Yeah. But, I mean, most people, I know, do not have
No, I know. I understand you. Yeah. It's just, we have to find resources and things, and that shouldn't stop us from getting our goals and our dreams accomplished. For example, in that question, is it passion towards, or is it versus the financial securities? Well, of course you're going to go with the financial securities, just because your passion is not going to pay off your bills. So once again, we're here to help you in any questions that you have, and any way we can help you. And just email us, find us on Facebook, find us on Instagram. We're all over the place. And can you tell them our address? If they want to go, we also have workshops that we offer on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Sorry. And Saturdays at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. That's right. And just, you want to research some things, and we're here to help you. And if you really do want to get a copy of that book, just make sure you email us. My email is, once again, is jessmartinez1993@yahoo.com. Kiara
Elise@gmail.com. And if you're interested in our workshop, again, Tuesday 7 p.m., Saturday 10 a.m. I apologize. Our address is 13831 Northwest Freeway, Suite 215, Houston, Texas 77040. And of course, I read that kind of fast. So if you are interested, you're able to email us or contact us on our social media questions. Along, if you have any questions that you didn't feel comfortable sharing on the Facebook Live, you're able to submit those, and we can answer those later. But yeah, I think this was a great show. I think this is a great topic. So many people, even if they, even if they didn't go to school, some people, a lot of times, they consider going to school. And I just think that
they're just afraid because they're not gonna be able to pay off their student loans.
yes,
So they they don't want to
that's
get in
a
debt.
big thing
so
that I hear.
yeah, I think that's a big problem, and maybe we should find ways where we can offer like colleges where we can go and explain to students, how to reduce your debt. I think that would be like a
Yes.
great, I guess you can say, seminar or class where it teaches students that.
Yeah, definitely. Like, and I think some of the points that we said today, include that, make sure you do your research. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Position yourself early on in the game to get the best resources, whether it's financial aid, program acceptance, to succeed later in life and after graduation. So, we thank you for tuning in, and
Yes.
we are Millennials and Money.
Money.
I am Kiera Peoples,
And I'm
and
Jessica Martinez, and we thank you for joining us today. Y'all have a great night.
yes, thank you. Bye bye.